Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the cooling method, per unit system and voltage regulation of single phase transformer. This is the most important topic of electrical machine as well as electrical engineering. So myself Mr. Santanu Noskar, Assistant Professor of Electrical Department, GKCM JIS Group, and my mail ID is santanu.uit@gmail.com and santanu.noskar_gkcem@jisgroup.org. And this is my Facebook page, Being Electrified with Santanu. You can get all the syllabus, all the videos in my Facebook page and also in my YouTube channel. So let's start. So first we will discuss about your syllabus. So the course code is EES3EM1, which is electrical machine 1, and the general introduction of rotating machine, which I have already covered in my previous lectures, and also DC generator I have covered, as well as DC motor I have covered. In single phase transformer I have covered principle of operation, EMF equation, transformation ratio, kVA rating, types of transformer, performance under no load condition with phasor diagram, like performance under load condition with phasor diagram. And today we will discuss about the different types of cooling method in brief, and per unit representation of impedance and voltage regulation of single phase transformer. So let's start. Before starting this lecture, I will share that Mr. Rabindranath Tagore said, the highest education is that which does not merely gives us information but makes our life in harmony with all existence. So please educate your soul, educate your mind. So let's start. So first of all, what is cooling of transformer? So cooling of transformer is the process by which heat generated in the transformer is dissipated or treated to the safe value. This is achieved by various cooling methods of transformer available. The major factor for the generation of heat in the transformer is the various losses like hysteresis, eddy current, which is based on iron loss, or we can say that core loss, and copper loss. Among all the various losses, the major contributor of the heat generation is the copper loss, which is also called I square R loss. So if the temperature of the transformer will continue to increase rapidly, it will result in the degradation of the insulation used in the transformer, resulting in the damaging of the various parts and hence the failure of the transformer. Thus proper removal or treatment of heat is necessary for efficient working, longer life and higher efficiency of the transformer. So the various coolant used for the cooling purpose of the transformer are air, synthetic oils, minerals oils and gas and water. So basically there are two types of transformer. One is dry type transformer, another is oil immersed type transformer. Based on these two types, there are several types of cooling method. So for the cooling of transformer, the following cooling method are listed below. For dry type transformer, air natural, which is AN, air forced, which is AF, and for oil immersed type transformer there are 5 types. First, oil natural, air natural, which is ONAN. Second, oil natural, air forced, which is ONAF. Third, oil forced, air forced, which is OFAF. Fourth, oil natural, water forced, which is ONWF. And fifth and last, oil forced, water forced, which is OFWF. So one by one I will discuss all the cooling methods in my this lecture. So let us start about the methods of cooling of transformer. First we will discuss about the air natural. Okay, so air natural. By air natural method, the generated heat in the transformer is cooled by the circulation of natural air. When the temperature of the transformer becomes higher as compared to the temperature of the surrounding air, thus by the process of natural convection, heated air is replaced by the cool air. This method is also known as self-cool method. This method is used for cooling the smaller output transformer rating, that is up to 1.5 MVA. Okay, very easy. So next we will discuss about the air forced or air blast, which is in short form AF. So in this method, the heat generated is cooled by the forced air circulation method. With the help of fans and blowers, high velocity of air is forced on the core and the winding of the transformer. As the temperature inside the transformer goes beyond the standard safe level, an alarm is activated and the fans and blowers are switched on automatically. This method is used for transformer rating up to 15 MVA. Now we will discuss about oil immersed type transformer. This is cooled by the oil air cooling method and oil water cooling method. So first we will discuss about oil natural air natural, ONAN. So natural convection process is used for this type of cooling. The assembly of the core and winding are placed in the oil immersed tank. So in this figure, as the core and the winding heat up, the temperature of the oil in the transformer rises. As a result, the oil moves upward and flows from the upper portion of the transformer tank. So this hot oil dissipates heat in the air by natural convection and conduction process. The oil gets cooled by the circulation of natural air and passes through the radiator again for the use of the transformer. This type of cooling is used for the transformer rating up to 30 MVA. Now we will discuss about oil natural air forced, ONAF, and this is the figure of ONAF. So ONAF method used for the cooling of the transformer rating up to 60 megavolt ampere. As discussed previous slide, ONAN method, the dissipation of heat is taken by the convection process in which air is naturally circulated to cool down. But in this type, the forced air is used for the purpose of cooling the transformer. Now the cooling of oil will be faster if the area of the tank of the transformer is increased finally, which result in the increase in heat dissipation level. As the fan and the blowers are installed, a high velocity of air is forcefully applied to the radiator and cooling tower, which will help in cooling oil more quickly and efficiently. So its cost is higher as compared to another process where the circulation of oil and air is done naturally, because a fan and blowers are attached as extra cooling equipment in this method. Okay, so next we will discuss about oil forced air forced, OF. So, as the name itself says that both the oil and the air are applied by force for cooling of a transformer. The heat exchanger is installed through which hot oil is circulated with the help of a pump. Air is forced to pass on the heat exchanger with the help of high-speed fan. This method is quite similar to ONAN, as when there is low load on the transformer, the cooling is done by the simple ONAN method. However, as soon as the load is increased, the generated heat will also be more, and therefore the sensor gives an alarm that the distribution of heat has exceeded the safe value, and as a result the fans and pumps are switched on automatically. Thus the cooling takes place by OFAF method. Now we will discuss about the ONWF method, which is called oil natural water forced. So in oil natural water forced cooling method, the transformer core and the winding are immersed in the oil tank. A radiator is installed outside the tank. As the temperature rises and the oil heats up and moves upward, the heat is dissipated by the natural process of convection and oil is passes through the radiator, but the water is pumped and passed through the heat exchanger for cooling of the oil. Okay, so the last method is oil forced water forced, OFWF. So in this method a heat exchanger is installed through which both oil and water are passed with the help of a pump. The level and pressure of the oil are always kept higher than that of water, so that if any leakage occurs in the system, the oil mixed with the water, but water does not get mixed up with the oil. This type of method is suitable for large capacity of the transformer having rating as several hundred MVA, or where banks of transformer installed. Mainly this type of cooling is done for the transformer installed at the hydel power plant. So here we have completed the discussion on the cooling of the transformer. Now we will start about the per unit system of the single phase transformer. So for the analysis of electrical machines or electrical machine system, different values are required. Thus, per unit system provides the value for voltage, current, power, impedance and admittance. The per unit system also makes the calculation easier as all the values are taken in the same unit. The per unit system is mainly used in the circuit where variation in voltage occurs. So let us discuss about the definition of the per unit system. So the per unit value of any quantity is defined as the ratio of actual value in any unit to the base or reference value in the same unit. Any quantity is converted into per unit quantity by dividing the numeral value by the chosen base value of the same dimension. So we can state that the per unit value is dimensionless. So per unit value equals to actual value in any unit and base or reference value in the same unit. The base values can be selected arbitrarily. It is usual to assume the base values as given here. So base voltage is equals to rated voltage of the machine, base current equals to rated current of the machine, base impedance equals to base voltage by base current, and base power equals to base voltage into base current. So let us discuss the explanation of the per unit system. So firstly, the value of the base power and the base voltage are selected, and their choice automatically fix the other base value as per unit kV equals to actual kV by base kV equals to kV actual by kVV. That's mean actual voltage in kilovolt and base kilovolt. So we can say base current IB equals to base kVA by base kV, which is equals to kVAB by kVV, which is number 1 equation. Now per unit current IPU equals to actual value of current by base current. Now putting the value of base current from the equation 1 in equation 2, we get per unit current IPU equals to actual value of current by kVAB by kVB, and per unit current IPU equals to, you can also write actual value of current in kVB into kVB by kVAB. This kVB now in this side. So base impedance ZB equals to base KB into 1000 by base current, which is number 3 equation. Now putting the value of base current from the equation 1 in the equation 3, we can write base impedance ZB equals to KVB into 1000 by KVAB by KVB. Now base impedance ZB equals to KVB whole square into 1000 by KVAB, which is number 4 equation. From here base power equals to kVAB. Now we can write ZPU, that's mean impedance per unit equals to actual impedance by base impedance, or we can write putting the value of base impedance from the equation 4 in the equation 5, we will get the value of impedance per unit, which is ZPU equals to actual impedance into kVAB by kVB whole square into 1000. Okay, so now I will discuss about some advantages of per unit system, which is naturally there are two advantages of using per unit system. The parameters of the rotating electrical machine and the transformer lie roughly in the same range of numerical values irrespective of their rating if expressed in a per unit system of rating. It relieves the analysis of the need to refer circuit quantities to one or the other side of the transformer, making the calculation easy. Okay, that's all about the per unit system of single phase transformer. Now we will discuss about the voltage regulation of single phase transformer. So the voltage regulation is defined as the change in the magnitude of receiving and sending voltage of the transformer. The voltage regulation determines the ability of the transformer to provide the constant voltage for variable loads. So when the transformer is loaded with continuous supply voltage, the terminal voltage of the transformer varies. The variation of the voltage depends on the loads and its power factor. Mathematically, the voltage regulation is represented as voltage regulation equals to E2 minus V2 by E2, and percentage voltage regulation equals to E2 minus V2 by E2 into 100, where E2 is secondary terminal voltage at no load, V2 is secondary terminal voltage at full load. The voltage regulation by considering the primary terminal of the transformer is expressed as percentage voltage regulation equals to V1 minus E1, by V1 into 100. So now let us understand the voltage regulation by taking an example here. So if the secondary terminals of the transformer are open circuited or no load is connected to the secondary terminals, the no load current follow through it. If no current flows through the secondary terminals of the transformer, the voltage drop across the resistive and reactive load becomes zero. The voltage drop across the primary side of the transformer is negligible. Now if the transformer is fully loaded, the load is connected to the secondary terminal. Look here, the voltage drop appears across it. Okay, the value of the voltage regulation should always be less for the better performance for the transformer. Please show the circuit diagram here. The following conclusion are made that the primary voltage of the transformer always greater than the induced EMF on the primary side, which is called V1 greater than E1, and the secondary terminal voltage at no load is always greater than the voltage at full load condition, which is E2 greater than V2. Now by considering the circuit diagram, the following equation are drawn, that is V1 equals to I1 R1 cos phi 1 plus I1 x1 sin phi 1 plus E1, and E2 equals to I2 R2 cos phi 2 plus I2 x2 sin phi 2 plus V2. So this is resistance and this is reactance, one for primary, say 2 for secondary. Now for inductive load, E2 equals to I2 R02 cos phi 2 plus I2 x02 sin phi 2 plus V2, and we can say E2 minus V2 equals to I2 R02 cos phi 2 plus I2 x02 sin phi 2, or we can write E2 minus V2 by E2 into 100 equals to E2 R02 by E2 into 100 cos phi 2 plus I2 x02 into 100 sin phi 2. Okay, by dividing E2 both side LHS and RHS, where I2 R02 into 100 is the percentage resistance voltage drop, and I2 x02 by E2 into 100 is a percentage reactance voltage drop. Now we will discuss about the capacitive load. Now in capacitive load, E2 equals to I2 R02 cos phi 2 minus I2 x02 sin phi 2 plus V2, or we can say E2 minus V2 equals to I2 R02 cos phi 2 minus I2 x02 sin phi 2, or we can write by dividing E2 in both sides, E2 minus V2 by E2 into 100 equals to E2 R02 by E2 into 100 cos phi 2 minus I2 x02 by E2 into 100 sin phi 2. In this way we define the voltage regulation of the transformer. Very easy. Okay, so let us discuss about some reference of your syllabus. First of all, the book is called Principle of Electrical Machine by V.K. Mehta and Rohit Mehta. So this book is very easy and good for diploma and BTech engineers. And second is Electrical Machinery by Dr. P.S. Bhimra. This is a very good book according to my choice. Third is Electrical Machine by Ashfaq Hussain Harun Ashfaq. This is also very compact book. And let us discuss about some reference site, NPTEL's video lectures by IITs, Circuit Globe and Electrical for You. So thank you, hope you all enjoy my lecture, and please like, comment, share and subscribe my channel. Stay safe, stay happy always. Thank you.